This is Barry Zalma speaking for Zalma's insurance fraud letter for November 15, 2025. This being volume 29, number 22, the source for the insurance fraud professional. Zalma's insurance fraud letter, or ZIFL, continues its 29th year of publication, dedicated to those involved in reducing the effect of insurance fraud. ZIFL is published 24 times a year by Claim School and Barry Zalma, Inc., and is written by me. It is provided free to anyone who visits the site at the link provided. This issue is 20 pages and starts with a man bites dog story where Hertz sues alleged fraudsters and successfully refuses to pay alleged fraudulent health care providers. The Hertz company, permissibly self-insured, became a proactive victim of fraud and defeated many less than honorable healthcare providers. Next is an article about more of McClenny, Moseley Associates issues. This is ZIFL's 38th installment of the saga of McClenny, Moseley Associates and its problems with the federal courts in the state of Louisiana. The saga of MMA has become a never-ending story, including where an MMA plaintiff did nothing to pursue his case after MMA was terminated as counsel. You can read the complete article in the full 20-page issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article about getting insurance against intentional act is against public policy in Missouri. And then an article on what is a loss for criminal sentencing. In a case entitled United States of America versus Eduardo Ruben Lopez, the United States District Court for the District of Nevada dealt with the need for a determination of the amount of loss so it could calculate the necessary sentence. You can read the complete article in the full 20 pages of this issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article about insurance fraud and artificial intelligence, where Cornell University published an article called A New Wave of Vehicle Insurance Fraud Fueled by Generative AI, a way to understand how modern computer technology is impinging and, if anything, encouraging insurance fraud. Next is an article entitled 19% of people think it's justifiable not to disclose full truth on an insurance application. You can read the full article at the link provided with the Insurance Times of the United Kingdom. Of course, lying on an application can result in rescission, which might just deprive you of everything. And that's why the next article is rescission, an equitable remedy. And since the first insurance policy was scratched on a clay tablet, and into modern times, at least since the 18th century, insurance has been considered a business of the utmost good faith. And when a person lies or misrepresents a material fact to get insurance, the insurance company can void the policy back to its inception. Next is an article on health insurance fraud convictions. And because of the government's shutdown, the DOJ is not publishing its press releases about convictions, may not even be trying the cases. Next is an article entitled Some Fraud Convictions from Grok, which is the AI portion of X, or the old Twitter. And it starts with an article about a conviction of a person named Juan Carlos Lopez, who let her ring staging over 100 fake auto crashes, defrauding auto insurers of $2.5 million, who received 8 years in prison and was ordered to pay $1.8 million in restitution. The next article deals with the right to amend pleadings to avoid statutory immunity claims, where an insurer was immune from suit for good faith report to the Louisiana Department of Insurance of suspected fraud, and where the plaintiff, Fraudster, was moving to appeal and amend his complaint. Next is an article on plaintiff lawyers' use of runners or cappers who pay by the lawyer, non-lawyers, to bring clients, is a criminal activity in most states, and you can read the complete article and the complete issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is a article called Convictions of Other Than Health Insurance Fraud, including a story about a Washington woman's fraud conviction saved workers' compensation system much money, where a person named Lemapu Dorothy Sainafo, 56, pleaded guilty to 1 count of third-degree theft and was ordered to repay nearly $48,000 of pension payments she received when she was not on a pension. Next is an article called Fraud in the Bard of Avon. On a rare occasion, a court will fall prey to the need to be poetic. It happened in California when the Court of Appeals started off its insurance coverage opinion with, quote, "O thou invisible spirit of wine, if thou hast no name to be known, let us call thee devil," close quote. This was Shakespeare's Othello, Act 2, Scene 3. You can read the full article and all of the court's poetry at the link provided. Next is an article called Insurance Fraud and the Lawyer, where in a criminal case in California, an attorney I personally worked with, both as an adjuster and later as a defense lawyer, was found to be a fraud perpetrator and went from jail as a lawyer back to becoming a paralegal working with young lawyers who he brought into his criminal activities. Next is an article on what a fraud-trained adjuster must understand so that you could turn a claims person into a fraud-trained adjuster and become familiar with all of the details needed. Finally, a little description of the author. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, and my newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for November 15, 2025. You can subscribe to the fraud letter, and if you do, you'll receive notice of every publication, usually twice a month. Or you could subscribe to the blog, and you'll receive notice of every blog posting, including notice about the fraud letter. This video is available free to anyone who clicks on It's a link on YouTube or on Amazon.com or on Rumble.com, any of which you can subscribe to. Please tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and the newsletter so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance law, and insurance fraud, please consider for a very small fee subscribing to my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.